I'd like to ask Damian Royce from St Vincent de Paul Society, who will tell us a bit about the Ability Linker program that's operating in the Sutherland Shire. If you please welcome Damian.
All right, thanks for that, Joanne. What I might just do quickly, I might just give a bit of an overview of Ability Links and how we operate. And then I'll sort of try and link that in with local community and local businesses and how that's relevant there. And at the end, if anyone has any questions, please fire away. Actually, even during, if anyone would like to ask any questions, please just put your hand up and ask, and I'll see if I can answer that for you. So Ability Links is a New South Wales initiative which assists people with disability aged between 9 and 64, as well as their families and carers, to access mainstream community and services. Ability Links supports people by placing them at the centre of decision-making processes. Everything is really driven by that individual or the family. We don't go in and say, this is what you need to do to better your life, but we will say, what are you passionate about? What do you love doing? And assist people to identify those opportunities in their communities. And really, it's a really empowering process. It's person-centred and strengths-based. So it's all about assisting people to identify their own strengths and use those to link in with community. Anyone can contact their local linker, so anyone can give us a call. There's no need for a diagnosis from a GP or official referral. Someone can just call up or text or email, and we try to make that as accessible and flexible as possible for someone to access us. So I'll speak a little bit about the linker role. That's what we're called as linkers. So it's a bit of a two-pronged role. So part of the role is working with individuals and families. And we assist people to build confidence, develop their knowledge and skills, and really strengthen their networks in the community. And a lot of the time that might be connecting with services or things like that, or programs, but a lot of the time it's informal things. So it might be something like a walking group or a book club, a volunteering role or something like that. We really talk to people about what is it you want to be involved in your own community and assist them to identify those opportunities. I'll give you just a quick example of someone I worked with, a young man who had schizophrenia, and there were some other mental health challenges as well. And he was passionate about photography and animals. They were two things that were really clearly something that he loved. So we were able to do a bit of research with him and link him with the Sutherland Shire Photography Association, so he was able to go and speak to other people, like-minded people with the same sort of passions. And then also I happened to know someone who owned a pet shop, and he was able to do some volunteer work there, so he got to learn some new skills around something he really absolutely loved. And the other side of our role is community development, so working alongside communities to assist them to become more welcoming and accessible. So something I've really noticed in the last 12 or 14 months since this program started working in the Sutherland Shire is speaking to people about what happens in their communities and what's important in their communities. A common comment has been that communities are or their suburbs or communities are very supportive of local businesses. So I suppose a big part of our role is to assist local businesses and community to be more supportive of its individuals. A lot of what we do is obviously assisting people with disability. So when we talk about accessibility, it could be a lot more than just your wheelchair access, which is what most people think of straight away when we think of accessibility. So, I mean, I've come across some individuals and how we identify barriers in the community as far as accessibility is generally talking to people and saying, what things are you finding in your community that makes things difficult for you to access, whether it be, a club, a business or whatever. One person I was working with who actually was in a wheelchair gave me some feedback about, she said, sometimes I go into shops or certain places and the countertops are too high. I can't actually reach the FPOS machine, and when they're fixed to the bench, I can't access them, so I've actually got to get someone else to put my number in or things like that. She said sometimes I'll be sitting, at some places, and the bench is that high, people won't even know I'm there, so I sit there for 5 minutes. So, I mean, I was talking to some of the guys before, sometimes it's not about saying, well, why don't you go in and change the whole structure of your business or your building to make it more accessible? But just being aware of that, of some of these points, is assisting accessibility for people. So, okay, I know my countertops are high. What else can I do to make this more accessible for someone in a wheelchair? But like I said, there's many other types of accessibility as well. So it might be, acquired brain injury or someone with intellectual disability. So having maybe some easy read material or something like that. So it's a lot broader than just a traditional physical disability aspect. I suppose that really leads me into a project that I've been thinking about lately and looking to do, which is collating a resource of accessible cafes and restaurants and eating spots in the Sutherland Shire. I just thought I'd start off small rather than just doing absolutely all businesses in the Sutherland Shire, but really start with something like eateries, and then so people from this area can then access that and see how, obviously, to pinpoint what is accessible in that area. And I'm hoping that I can start by getting feedback from business owners in the Sutherland Shire to tell me how their eating spot is accessible and in what ways, and collate that information. That's going to be fantastic for the community, but also for business owners. They therefore have more business at hand, and being community minded, I suppose. I think they're the main points I really wanted to touch on, and just give a brief overview. So I might just see if anyone has any questions now and see if I can field them. Any questions at all, or pretty straightforward? Yes?
Damian, why does your age range stop at 64?
Okay, so after 64, you've got aged care funding, and so that's already taken care of. Under 9, we've got early links programs, and so that's also under another funding bracket. Fantastic. Thank you, guys.